beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to talk about Miss Quad. Love Miss Quad down. Y'all know that. However, Miss Quad acted a plum fool this past weekend. And I say that like we was together. But no, this past Sunday, when I watched her, I was so disappointed because I'm like, what are you doing? We're too good for this. We don't do this. But that's okay. So what's going to happen is I'm not talking about the whole episode because I don't care. I don't care about any of these other people really because the show is just not great. Maybe it's about to get better. We'll see. But I do want to talk about everything that Miss Quad did because what the hell, Quad? All right. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Go ahead and like the video, you guys. It does wonders for my algorithm, analytics, all of that. And it helps to push my videos out. So like the video. And again, subscribe, you guys. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt you. Just click the goddamn button. All right. Let's get to it, you guys. Okay, so before we get into just what Miss Quad did, we're going to talk about the game. So we know that they're out of town. They're on a couples trips. A couples trip. All the couples are here. We have the new couple. I don't know neither one of their names. And if y'all know me, y'all know I'm terrible with names. But these people, no idea what their names are. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine. But they're all playing this game. Y'all know that Dr. Heavenly wants to play a relationship game every goddamn time. Well, they all do. But, I mean, hers just really have the same questions. How long did it take before you guys were sexually active? How much do you guys do it in a week? How often? Everything is about doing it, number one. And number two, is questions that we've already heard the answers to and we didn't care then. We still don't care. So, first thing was how long did it take before they were, active or whatever. And Phaedra and her guy, and she went on this dating thing or whatever that I think Sweet Tea gave. It was like a what do you call it? Speed dating type of thing. And she found this, I think he's Jamaican guy, really big, chocolate muscles and everything. Nice looking guy. I think he's super young, but okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's that young, but he's way younger than her probably. But it's fine. So he's there with her and he has on this like jumpsuit thing. Now, he has a good physique. However, I don't like the way he's wearing his little outfit. And I know it's not an outfit, but I don't like it because as opposed to him just having it open, because yeah, he has it open, but he got it kind of like off his shoulders a little bit like the ladies do. And he's giving me masculine, so I'm not trying to come for him or anything. I just don't like the way that he's wearing it. Yeah, you have a nice body and everything under there, but just have it open if that's what you want to do. Like Quad's guy. Quad's guy has a good build, and he just has his wide open, and it looks fine. All right, y'all. We got Dr. Steve and Mimi. Nah, in y'all face. There go their names. Y'all really thought I wasn't? No, I wasn't gonna know them. They just showed it. But you guys, they're a cute couple. I ain't say nothing about his nose. They're a cute couple. Okay, back to the game. So it's weird how. Oh, I'm sorry. It's weird how they have the chairs set up where, as opposed to just being in a big ass circle, some of them are up a little bit more, some of them are back. So Quad and her guy, what's his name, King, they're sitting ahead of Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea, and so every time they say something, King is turning around trying to, look and engage and hear what they're saying. It's just weird how, just have it in one big circle so that everyone can see everyone. I don't understand why they did it that way. But anyway, we find out, how long it took everybody to get it in. And again, like I said, we don't really care. Yeah, we don't care. Phaedra and her guy said that they're not doing it yet. That's all we care about. That's fine. Yeah, so Quad and King both say 30. It took them 30 dates before they did anything. And Dr. Heavenly said, y'all some lying asses. And her husband, Damon, said, yeah, they cheating. And then we do see a flashback or whatever where they were cheating. They were basically talking to each other without moving their lips. Let's say 30. Let's say 30. It was like every day, but let's say 30. So they were cheating, which is cute. I like them together, you guys. I happen to like King, but we going to get back to King. We going to get back to him, but I happen to like him. And let me just say, I understand now why they did the chairs the way they did, but Eugene kind of fixed his chair to where he could see everyone. I feel like they did like a half circle, probably because of production and trying to get everybody in, in the front, as opposed to having to do a full circle. I get it. But I do feel like it just kind of sucks the way it is. I understand why they did it that way though. All right, so the next question is the parenting styles. And, are you hard? Are you soft? It was a crazy question. I won't call everything stupid and all that. I'm going to try to be more positive, you guys. But everybody's answering the question. Then we get to King and Quad, and they both say he's just right. And Dr. Contessa's like, but no kids. Y'all don't have no kids. And he's like, well, I have a daughter. So we find out that he has a 9-year-old. And Quad, in her confessional says that seeing him with his kid really, makes her, he's a great father. And so back with the group in the game, she's like, yeah, seeing him with his kid makes me want to bust it wide open. And just the look on everybody's faces was like, Dr. Heavenly wasn't even trying to hide it. She had the stank face for real, like, ugh. And everybody else was just looking like, okay. And they're all in the confessionals making jokes about busting it open. And I'm just like, Quad. Now, the whole time, Quad is sipping out of this coconut cup. It wasn't a real coconut, but she's getting her drink on. So the more they play, she is just getting so full, you guys. Like, Quad was so out of it by the time she was acting a fool. And even that part, she's like explaining how he's such a good parent that, she wants to have kids with him. She wouldn't mind having a baby with him. And they show Dr. G because, as we know, Dr. G, their main thing was Dr. G was ready for a family and he wanted a kid. And Quad would not have a baby with him to save her life because Quad did not like Dr. G. Okay. Quad didn't like him. And with a voice like that, how could you really like him? Like, what is sexy about him? I'm not having your baby. Like, his voice, he's not even an unattractive little guy. He's just his voice and the way he acts. And I don't like real sensitive men, y'all. I don't like that. I just think he's sensitive as shit. So they're showing, the camera's showing him and he's looking a little uneasy. And, what's her name? Sweet Tea is kind of looking over at him. And Quad keeps going in for a kiss with King. She wants to keep pecking him or whatever. And you guys, I do the same thing. And my boyfriend looks exactly how King was looking. Like, he was going in giving her a peck every time, but he was kind of looking like, okay, here you go. Like, let me just give it to you. Because, she comes off as over affectionate. Well, I won't even say over affectionate. She's affectionate the same way I am. So it may be, a lot. I feel like she was also doing it to get under Dr. Greg's skin. And yeah, that was the first thing that was irritating me because I'm like, Quad, what are you doing? She just kept really trying to get under his skin, and we'll get there. All right, next question is, how often do you do it a week? And again, these questions are just ridiculous, but Quad immediately starts screaming out, girl, why you asking these kind of questions, girl? You don't even want to know. And she turned to King and she's like, tell him the truth now all the times. Tell him the truth. And he's like, okay. So we get to them and they say 15. And Toya's like, y'all lying. And she's like, no, I'm not lying. And she was like, you not? Like, Toya looked so envious. Like, she was just like, you not? Like, that's for real? I was like, damn, Toya. And they say, yeah, sometimes, because who was it? One of the husbands was like, well, that's not bad. Maybe, it's twice a day. And Quad is like, no, not twice a day. Sometimes it's more. And, it just depends. And everybody is like, no, it's not true. And even Sweet Tea is like, somebody's lying. Quad turns around to Sweet Tea and says, no, multiple times a day. No, it's a lot. And it's great. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Number one, she's not your friend, okay? Sweet Tea could have kept it to herself, but everybody was putting their little input in. They're on a group thing, and they're giving their little input. But for you to turn around to this girl, mainly to your ex-husband, because he's sitting right there bothered. And even Eugene in the confessional was like, oh, now I'm getting really uncomfortable. He's like, every time Quad answers a question, I'm looking at Dr. Greg, and we're just landing on thick here. Like, it's a lot going on. And it is, because you guys know that Dr. Greg is the one that wanted to stay together. And I do believe he loved Quad for real. And she wanted the divorce. Don't think she ever really liked him. Don't think she ever was really attracted to him or anything like that. It is what it is. So this stuff is like really affecting him. Do I care? No, because he was still a cheater. And according to her, a woman beater, allegedly. We don't know. But yeah, I just don't care about Dr. Gregory like that. So it is what it is. But she really is landing on thick. And I was disappointed because I just felt like Quad already has a nice looking man. Just come in and shit on him with that. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to just come and be there and don't act bothered. I was very disappointed because you're supposed to never let him see you sweat. And I felt like she did. She was acting way too bothered. And I understand she had a lot to drink. I get it. However, somebody should have reeled her in. Like, one of them friends should have been like, quiet, quiet, quiet. Like, it's too much, because she was doing a lot. All right, we also find out that Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea only do it like twice a week. And she said when she's ovulating or when they were trying to, have a baby or whatever, they were doing it more. So Quad turns around and she's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get it in more. We need to go ahead and make that baby, and I'm gonna give you the baby shower." And everybody's looking, and then we have Dr. Greg in the confessional, like, what is she talking about? Like, why don't she just shut the hell up? Like, if you're doing it 15 times a week, you don't have time to give a baby shower. So just shut up. So he was already getting bothered. Like, the entire thing was bothering him, which, let's talk about that. She was trying to bother him. Why, I don't know. Because if you're over it, if you're truly, truly over it, you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. I mean, maybe it's because this is their first time, like, really being all in the same room, her and her man, with him and his new wife and all that or whatever. I don't know. But why is it bothering you both so much? Like, what's still there? You know? Because I just feel like if you still have any kind of bitterness or hatred or anything, then there's still something there. You guys, my child's father and I, it just became part of who we were, that he was just always very rude and whatever. And I would, like, that was just a part of our shit, that we just did not get along for whatever reason. So it wasn't until not even too long ago, I think it may have been last year or year before that, where maybe a couple years now, where he's just like, he said something rude. And I said, yo, what is wrong with you? I'm just like, why are you always so mad at me? Like, I don't do nothing to you. And I said, and I know that I don't, because I don't care enough. I don't care enough to bother you. I don't care enough to do anything to you. I don't be mean to you. I don't be super nice to you. I don't care enough I talk to you about our kid. What are you mad about? And I think it made him feel stupid, because after that, we literally were able to have conversations and be fine. And I think he was just like, yo, I really am acting pressed. Now, it's been a billion years. My baby is what, 26, 27? She's about to have a birthday. That's why I'm like, but it's been forever. So yeah, he's over it too. But I guess that, like I said, it was just part of our dynamic, is to just not like each other until you just stop and realize there's nothing, like, there's no reason not to. Like, I don't care about you enough, so why not? And they are just not at that point. And it's unfortunate. However, it hasn't been like 20 something years for them. So I get it. but I still don't understand the whole point of coming in and like picking at him, just antagonizing him for no good reason when you really, really would have came out looking way better just sitting there having a nice looking man. That's it. That's all you needed to do. But yet and still, she's bothering the girl, she's bothering him, and I just didn't like the way she came off looking. And I felt like Dr. G and Sweet Tea just looked so much better in the whole situation, just looking at her like she was crazy. And I'm sitting there like, damn it, Quad, you are disappointing me. Like, you are really disappointing me. All right, so now we get to the most annoying thing about the person or whatever. And King put sleeping for Quad. And he's like, yeah, she could just fall asleep at any point in time. And I'm like, me and Quad are a lot alike because I love to sleep, y'all. I will get my sleep on. And then Dr. Contessa's husband gets up and he's dapping him up like, oh, you putting her to bed, you putting her to sleep or whatever. And everybody's just looking really bothered and awkward because, again, Dr. G is right behind her. And it's becoming the Quad show. Like, Quad has had a lot to drink, and you know she's already loud. She talks a lot. And yeah, she started going into this whole speech about how her man, you know, God prepared her for him. And Toya said, listen, okay, listen, I love the fact that you are happy and I love your relationship with King. That's great. However, could you tone it down a little bit? Because Dr. G is right behind you. And this entire time, you guys, Dr. G has not said a word. And he's looking like pissed off. And, you know, and she's like, well, what does that have to do with anything? This is his wife right here. This is his wife right here. I don't have anything to do with him being there. And I'm like, okay, I understand why Toya said that. However, yeah, that's kind of putting it all out there a little bit too much because yeah, that should have been on, you know, like Dr. G should have said, oh, she good. Like, I don't care. But he didn't say that. Instead, Sweet Tea, I don't know why I keep getting ready to call that Lady Peaches. Sweet Tea is the one that spoke up and was like, oh, he ain't mad. He ain't mad. And Toya said, well, he still ain't said nothing. So I'm going to go with he mad. So we just going to leave it at that. And Quad is like, I don't know why he's mad. I chose to end the marriage. And, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, it was the best thing for us. And, you know, this is his wife. And they make a great couple. They make a great couple. And she was trying to be rude. And, you know, Sweet Tea is in the background like, well, he wanted it to end too. And Quad is like, oh, really? Oh, really? And then Dr. Heavenly says, no, he didn't. And as soon as she said it, Dr. Damon, his head flicked around to her. She said, well, I'm sorry, Daddy. I said, yeah, shut your mouth. He's like, you doing all of that, and then it's going to become something, and you laughing. And she's like, I'm sorry. So Dr. G finally speaks up and says, yeah, I was fighting for my marriage because, you know, I respected the institute of marriage. And you know, it did end up becoming too toxic and I should have just let it go. And so as he's talking, Quad is talking and she's like, oh yeah, it was, you know, it wasn't right and it wasn't right and it was and so they're like kind of low-key fussing but not fussing. And here's my thing. To me, I feel like Quad was indirectly disrespectful to her man because why are you sitting here arguing with your ex and acting so bothered by your ex and trying to get at your ex like you care? And what is your man supposed to do sitting there? Girl, turn around and act right. Now, mind you, now we're getting into the confessionals where everybody is like, oh, Quad had a lot. She had a lot. Then take her out of there or something because now she is just messing up all around. Mind you, King never got upset and he's a listen, I guess he's a good man, Savannah, or something, because for him to not be upset with her behavior with her ex there is just something else because she really did a lot, you guys. She did a lot for somebody who doesn't care. So then it just goes all off the rails when Quad is like, I'm happy for you. And he's like, we don't care what you are. And I'm happy for you. I just want you to be happy. And she's like, oh, that is a narcissist coming out. And he hates being revealed. And it was a lot. It was a lot. Where I was just like, why are you arguing with this man? Why? So they're going back and forth, and then Sweet Tea, she was trying very hard to be the grown up in the situation, even though she was the youngest one there. She's just like, Quad, Quad. And Quad is like, are you talking to me like that? Like, are you trying to talk to me like I'm a baby or whatever? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I'm what you want to be. Y'all know Quad. I'm what you want to be. And I'm like, she is though. Y'all know I don't feel bad for Sweet Tea. Listen, Sweet Tea signed up for this, okay? This is what you signed up for, sis. You're the one who went after that lady's new ex-husband. They had just gotten divorced. You sliding in his DMs, giving him baby emojis or whatever, trying to entice him with the one thing that you know he really wanted. And then, unfortunately, you can't even easily give it to him. And that's no shade. It just is what it is. But you signed up to be on this show, which is Quad's show. You knew what was coming. Like, you knew what was coming. You're living in this lady's house. How are you even doing that? How are you even doing that? Like, Sweet Tea, and where's her family? Where's her family to be like, listen, if this man loves you, you guys need to get your own place or whatever. Like, I understand he could sell that shit, get another place, but no, you should not be living in another lady's house and you're decorating or whatever and calling it yours. No, ma'am. But everybody's different, so there it is. But back to Quad and her behavior, and she's going off, and they're going back and forth, and then Sweet Tea starts to turn up a little bit where she's going back and forth with Quad, and he's screaming. Dr. G is now screaming, stop talking to her. Stop talking to her. You be quiet. You be quiet. Like, he's screaming at Sweet Tea to stop talking, but Quad is steady talking to her. So it was just a lot. And then Quad is like, ooh, look at that. It's getting loud over there. And he really was screaming at her face. Stop talking to her. You be quiet. You be quiet. And everybody is just like, oh my God, this is awful. So Quad is just like, oh, my man would never scream at me like that. And my man's not going to sit there and be made a spectacle of and be used as like a pawn in this bullshit that you have going on. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand, King. I mean, I get it if you want to have a united front around all these people, and maybe they did get back to the room and he let her know, but she was wrong on so many fronts. I mean, she was just so wrong. All right, now we're at the end of it. And Dr. Simone says, listen, I just got a text from the hotel. They said, wrap it up. We're done here. I don't know how true that is. They were loud, but she may have just been wanting to get out of there because everything was getting heated. They're going back and forth. So everybody's standing and getting ready to go. And Quad is just like going crazy, super loud, and just like, I traded him in to be Mrs. King. And her man is just standing there, and he's like, what's happening? Don't let it bring you down. And she's like, oh, it's not bringing me down. So in the confessional, she's saying, oh, he's just bothered. He's just mad, all pissed off or whatever. And her guy is like, why? And she's like, because you're here. And he's like, okay, and you're with his ex-wife. Yeah, Quad, it's too much. Like, oh, it's too much. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you bringing this man around just to get under Dr. G's skin? Like, what are you doing? And I didn't like the way her man was just sitting there taking it. I didn't. I'm sorry. Like, I like for a man to man up a little bit and be like, listen, calm your ass down because that's old news. And if you still that bothered about that, then we need to talk. There's some issues here. I mean, again, maybe he just wasn't doing it in front of the cameras or whatever, but, I didn't like the way it was looking on him. So she's going crazy, and then we see, and they can hear her. So Dr. G and Sweet Tea can hear her, talking about how, she traded him in for a better model and this and that or whatever. And, they're walking away and he's still pissed off at Sweetie. And he's like, I told you to stop talking to her and don't engage with her. And she's like, well, she was talking to me. And so I'm like, what type of misguided uh anger? Like, he's not pissed off at Sweet Tea that much. He's pissed off at Quad. And since he can't really go off on Quad, he's going off on Sweet Tea. And the whole thing was just a mess. It was a shit show. And not Sweet Tea. Yeah, Sweet Tea and Dr. G walking away, and you have Quad really loud talking about, look at that baby. Where's she from? Oh, she from Texas. Cause y'all know, Sweet Tea can't dress. Sweet Tea can't dress, but it's okay. It's all right. She on these big old chunky heel sandals and stuff, but it's fine. I'm not on her team, but Qua was just the out of line one this time, and her man was just standing around looking crazy. Okay, so they're wrapping it up, and everybody's walking away, and a lot of the women are talking to Quad. Quad's talking to the new lady. What's her name? Mimi. And Mimi said, "Listen, let me leave her alone." She said, "Let me let her just get over the mountain." And she's like, this is called rapid. What did she call it? Uh, rapid something speech, because you guys know, like, Quad can go. She can go once she start talking, and she's going on and on about how he did her wrong and this and that, and her man is standing right behind talking to Dr. Mimi's husband, and he's like, she's bringing all her old trauma into the present, and it's a process. It's a process. And he's like, and she knows it. It's a process, though. And I can't call it, you guys. I don't know if he really feels that way and he's just like letting her get her shit off and it's fine with him, or if he is just, like I said, having a brave face in front of everybody and then gonna bring it up later. If he's just taking it in because he knows that she has had too much to drink, I don't know. I can't call. Like, he's very, just even keeled to the point where you can't really call it. So I'm not gonna call him crazy or anything, because he may just be the type to not want to front in front of people, and that's even better. Listen, let's have a united front in front of everybody. But if not, I think she did him wrong in this instance. I feel like she was very, very wrong to him in putting him in this situation and making him look like she made him look. Like, he's just there to make Dr. G mad. And, like, he's a pawn in the whole thing. I didn't like it. But again, we have Dr. G and what's her name? Sweet Tea going upstairs, and he's just like, still, oh my God, I'm so mad. I told you not to talk to her. I told you not to engage. And he's really, really going off on her. And he, again, would rather be going off on Quad. And I just feel like he is taking it out on her. And oh well. Listen, oh well, girl. You signed up for this shit. Take it. Take it from his ex-wife and him. Take it. So it is what it is. But that's pretty much it. Hold on, let me finish it before I finish the video. I think that's it though, you guys. All right, it's not over yet. So we have Sweet Tea outside talking to Contessa, Dr. Contessa, and Toya, and they're like, she's like, yeah, he's mad at me. He don't want to talk. He went for a walk because Dr. G was like, oh, I just need to go for a walk. Then take your little ass on. Go, go. And she, she's talking to him. She's like, I don't know why he's so upset. And he told her he just didn't want this negativity or whatever. And they're like, Toya is like, she's sitting there with her new man. And every time he moves, his pecs is like flexing. And they're talking about doing it 15 times a day. And yeah, so he's jealous. And Sweet Tea is like, nah, I don't think that's it. And they're like, are you crazy? So then Dr. Contessa's like, yeah, she stopped sleeping with him, like for 3 years, or like she was just not interested in him. And yeah, he's jealous and he's mad. She's mad. There's a lot of unresolved issues there. And I'm like, yep. And that's a problem. That's a problem, Sweet Tea and King. Y'all need to look into that. But, they're also trying to tell her, and Sweet Tea is just in denial. She's like, no, no, it's not that. He just doesn't want the negativity. And they're like, girl, if you feel like this man is not sitting here jealous, then something is wrong with you. All right, so we finally end the episode off with Dr. Jackie and Curtis in the room with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon. And Dr. Damon is just like, listen, you have your ex-wife and your new wife here, her new man. They're sitting here talking about having babies, and we watched our friend for 10 years talk about trying to have a baby with her, and it's just too much. And he's like, I don't, mean to sound cowardly, but if it were me, I would be on a plane and I would just get out of here. He's like, I feel like he was sitting there and he was trying to tell himself, just take it, it's okay, it's okay. But it just became too much. And Curtis is just like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, if it were me, I would have never came back to this group. And I'm like, bingo, there you go. She never left the show. Quad was on the show even after their divorce. Give it to her, okay? He's a doctor. He didn't need the money. Give it to her. Why are you back here? Why? I understand that these men are your friends, and I feel like they maintained a friendship even outside of the show. So you don't need the show to still remain friends with these men. Why are you here, Dr. G? So again, I don't feel bad for them. And then we really ended with Sweet Tea calling him and he sending her the voicemail. Girl, yeah, you can fuck off, okay? Because why are you chasing this man who is upset about his ex-wife? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wouldn't be me. Wouldn't be me. I'm trying to tell you. And I understand. We as women, we are sensitive. Things hurt us. But I'm not going to chase you while you're upset about another woman. Absolutely not. Anyway, it was interesting. And then I think we see in the next episode that Dr. G and King end up kind of getting into it or whatever. So I will probably, more than likely, be back next week for that. Because we finally get into the shits. And that's what I want, you guys. I want the shits. So what's your opinion on it? Y'all know, like I said over here, we love Quad. I love Quad. But she was out of line, even though she, had some cocktails. I'm sorry, some drinks, whatever. It was too much. So tell me what you guys think. If you watch the show, let me know what you think. How would you have handled it? How would your man, in these situations? I don't know. How would everything go down? Again, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. And I just feel like this with the whole subscribing thing, y'all. Why not? Why not? It's free. All you got to do is click the shit. It's nothing. It's nothing. Why are you holding out? Just click it. Sheesh. All right. But if you're still here, you're the real MVP. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.